somebody tried to be funny on Instagram and stated, why don't you talk about corn, but we're going to replace the C with a P because since you're so interested in media, and I would love to. Here are a few of my takes when it comes to corn. One, I feel like it could be educational, but it could also be unrealistic. A lot of times, back in the day, before there was like a OnlyFans, there was regulated like websites and things of that nature, which I kind of didn't agree with. Now knowing that a lot of the girls didn't have their own consent to some of their media because it was sex trafficking. However, I do know that legislatures is trying to get rid of corn altogether, which I do not think is right. I feel like sexual health as well as just sex in general is very normal. However, like I stated before, when we're watching these things, understand that it's for educational purposes or, it's for entertainment. Now, some people do end up having addictions, which I also is like, so it's like a tricky subject. But I do love that the girls have their own sites now and they have their own fan bases. Now, my only thing is, a lot of people don't think that it's a really exhausting job, but in all honesty, doing my research, it is a really exhausting job. Imagine having to ejaculate constantly on camera for people that you're maybe not even attracted to. Also, something else I noticed is that I wish that the girls could go back to this space of fantasy. I used to be a bartender at a adult club, a dance club or whatever, and the only reason why I never became a dancer is because I'm too lazy. Like I couldn't do the heels. Shout out to the girls that could do heels all night, and shout out to the girls that could be nicer to me because I only had it a little bit in me. Like I was like, ha ha ha. Like I had some really great customers when it came to bartending. They used to come see me every week and tip me big, but some of the customers, I'd be like, just stop speaking to me. But you can't say that because again, you're selling a fantasy, even as a bartender. But anyways, I feel like that space of fantasy is gone in a way when it comes to this type of media. And I say that because you see some girls, they don't even put lotion on their booties. Some men they have ashy ankles. And like we're not trying to nitpick at people's bodies because I noticed that people are for hair, people are for like on your boom boom or whatever. People are for, which is natural. Hair is natural. You shouldn't be against that. People are for like plus size, petite size, big titty, big booty, small titty, small booty, the girls, the adults, like it's kind of fascinating because all of it is there. You know what I'm saying? Everything, every flavor you need is there. But again, selling the fantasy, I wish that could come back. I remember one time I watched, her name was like Mia Khalifa or something, and it was some Spanish dude. And the Spanish dude and her, it was like, it wasn't much talking. However, it was a lot of foreplay. You could see her chi-chis. Then it'll go down. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could see the aura of the video and the attraction, and they were moisturized and they were in the element. Like now it's just anybody. And sometimes it just kind of takes away from the fantasy that your viewer is trying to maybe have. Another thing is I adore the cosplay girls, but I do think that sometimes smetasmilia is pushed and I don't really like that. And also like incest, which I'm like, what? But I feel like that was also a learning space for me. Now, do I watch it? No, it's really not for me. When I was younger, I did because I wanted to know things. And that's why I also believe that like sex ed is very important. I know that a lot of people don't want their children to know about sexual education, which I don't understand why. And that's just my opinion. I do think that children and people in general need to know about sexual education so they're not they understand that corn is just a fantasy versus real life and reality. Everybody's body and fluids and how they ejaculate is very different. You know what I'm saying? And we also need to learn consent. We also need to know no means no. Predominantly no disrespect to men. You know what I'm saying? Rejection, knowing spaces of a woman's body. The fact that a lot of men don't even know where a labia is it eats me up every time. The fact that women are still talking about extra skin out of a vagina pisses me off just for pick me vibes and every single time. You know what I mean? it's very important to talk about these things because it's not unnatural. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So yes, those are my little takes when it comes to corn in general.